Hi, everyone. It's Father Michael. I'm here with Keri Knowles. And of course, we're on the parish pastoral staff, and we help to organize the things we're doing here as a parish. One of the things that just came to my attention was that in the First Disciple, all of the students in their faith formation classes, we were trying to make sure that people were staying on with the watching the videos online and doing the homeworks. And that's really our only way of knowing if you were staying with the program was turning in the homeworks. And I noticed a number of people were getting behind in their work. What was surprising to me was that Keri was one of them. And Keri's younger daughter is in the classes. She's here at the church often. We pray together. We have a class with the children. So it dawned on me that not getting your homework done was not necessarily a sign that you didn't care or that you didn't pray. So I thought, well, then what does it mean? And I thought, well, why don't I just ask Keri about this? And since Keri's not the only one, I thought this would give me some insight into where people are with the pandemic and with the workloads that we're all carrying. So Keri, just wanted to ask you first. I noticed that Madison gets behind on the work that we've been asking her to do with First Disciple. Why do you think that is?
Well, to be honest with you, I'm feeling a little overwhelmed by everything right now. COVID has me just a little crazier, a little more stressed out than normal. I think that moms in general, we tend to carry a lot of that mental load of making sure that all of the tasks are done, the homework is done, and not that dads do lots, but moms tend to carry a lot of that mental load. And with COVID, there's been so much extra uncertainty and trying to plan for things without having any awareness of what's coming next. And so there's things that we're not getting to. And so I've found that it's not we're at home and we're praying more. My husband and I were just talking, we're praying more now than we have been and feeling very in tune with our faith. But in terms of the specific assignments, it's just not been something that we have gotten to. And I think part of it is because I keep, we're not in faith formation on Sunday mornings anymore. And so I have, in Sunday mornings we've been kind of sleeping in until it's time to get ready for church. And so I keep thinking, oh, well, we'll just get to it on, one of these evenings. And the time is just not coming, because when we do get a spare moment, we all just want to just breathe and relax and just be for a little bit. So we're thinking that we need to start to take back those Sunday mornings, and instead of sleeping until 9, we need to get our faith formation work done then. And
I noticed your daughter seems to enjoy the program. She seems to enjoy whenever we get a chance to watch some of the videos and talk together and pray together. And the mass is either online or in person. So I can hear, even in the way that you're describing it, it's not so much the student as much as the parent has so many obligations right now. It's hard to set up a new schedule when everything has changed like this. Does that sound right?
Oh, for sure. She loves all of those things. She's off school today, and I was telling her, I was like, I'm gonna get all my work done so I don't have to, so I can just be home with you. And she goes, oh no, we can go in. She loves to be here. She wants to read the Bible all the time. She loves watching any of the videos. With the activities that Joni has on the First Disciple website, she enjoys. It's just me. It's just me.
Well, and you're somebody who has the church as a priority. You not only work here at the church, but you and I pray all the time. We call each other up all the time to just talk about things about God. So it certainly isn't like you don't put Jesus as a priority. It just seems like right now it's hard to adjust to this new reality we're experiencing.
It is. It's so different in terms of the way she's experiencing her faith education. It's different this year. And it's just time for we just have to kind of make some adjustments. And like you said, it's certainly not that we're feeling like this is a time for us to take a break from God. He's just as much a priority for us as he's always been, if not more so, because I know that we're, my husband and I are definitely feeling like we need to lean on him a little more, because there's so much that I can't control. Not that we can ever control anything, but we're more aware of it right now, right? And so it's just finding the balance of which things that we're getting to and which things that we're not in terms of our faith life.
And that's probably the key word, balance. The fact that we have to balance all these things and they're moving parts. I think it was probably easier in the spring compared to now. Not that we had like less work to do, but we were more mentally ready to handle it because it felt short term. Do you think that this fall semester has been harder than it was in the spring?
Oh, for sure. I think in the spring, especially, there were a lot of people who were like, oh, they were sent home from work, but we were here at the church. We were bearing down, and I was working more than ever, and I was also trying to, we were doing the homeschool kind of thing, and it was super challenging. But I think that a lot of the people, the moms that I know, we all kind of have this mentality that we're just, it's gonna be hard, but we just got to get through these few months, and it will be good then. And then as time went on, it became more clear that it wasn't going to just be those few months. And now we're in the fall, and there's really just this question mark of where we have no idea how long it's going to be. We don't know how long things are going to be so strange for us and for our kids. And so there's the extra concern of making sure that they're getting everything that they need, and that it takes quite a toll. So it's definitely a lot more challenging now than it was in the spring, at least for me and the moms that are in my circle.
That's a lot of pressure, not just from the church, but from all these other aspects. You can't just take a pause and say, well, I'll raise my kid next year. I mean, you really have to say that
Right.
this year can't just be like, let it go and next year we'll start over. So I can imagine there's more than just getting your faith formation homework done that moms are feeling a responsibility for, but never had to do it on this level before, which is making them say, well, I got to learn how to do all this. Do you think that's fair to say?
Oh, for sure. Making sure that her faith life is enriched is so important for us. But we also want to make sure that she's getting a proper education, that her social needs are being met, that her emotional needs are being met, that her physical needs are being met, and all of those things. They're all a little bit more challenging than they have been in the past. And so I think that we're all just a little bit more aware of all of those struggles and just trying to figure out the best way that we can to meet them while we're staying safe and healthy and adhering to all the guidelines and doing all the things. There's a lot of things to be aware of.
And I imagine moms, especially, kind of internalize this a little bit. And so it feels, I mean, I really got to give you a lot of credit for even being able to talk to me about this, because you go and talk to the priest about it, you feel a little bit like it's difficult for us to it's difficult for us to admit that we weren't able to be super mom, that I wasn't able to do absolutely everything, and that this wasn't something I was able to accomplish. And so I imagine a lot of moms feel embarrassed or a little ashamed and kind of like, I don't even want to bring it up. But the truth is, you can't do everything, and you're still learning how to deal with this. So I want you to know, and the moms and dads out there now, that I understand. I understand what you're going through. I'm not experiencing the same thing. I have no children. I don't have to educate them at home. I don't have to do that. But I recognize that our goal this year is really to come to know and love Jesus Christ. It's why we kind of threw out the curriculum and really focused on that general. And I don't want you to feel embarrassed about it. I want you to say, I'm doing what I can, and the church is helping me keep that as a priority. But we do get behind, and that's okay. The only thing I ask is keep praying, keep working at it. And I'm trying to create some way that I can motivate, so I have the homeworks and they're signed in. But really, it's secondary to having a house that needs Jesus, knows Jesus, loves Jesus, responds to Jesus. I don't know if that's any comfort for moms to know that I'm not judging you about getting behind, but quite the opposite. I'm praying for you and kind of trying to encourage you to stick to it.
It is. I mean, moms, I think it's no secret, we're pretty tough on ourselves, generally speaking, and there is this kind of this perception that we have to be able to do it all and have it all and just be super mom all the time, and it is very comforting to know that there's a place where I can just kind of breathe, and it's important to realize that we do need to keep Christ like central in our lives, and that needs to be a priority for us, but also that it's not necessarily the assignments aren't the number one most important thing, and that it's they're a good thing for us to use as a tool if we're able to, but also that there's other ways that we can be doing that, and that's okay. I love this program so much that we've created this year, because the whole purpose is for us to know Christ, and for us as parents to know Christ, to help our children know Christ, and that's really the goal. And if there's some of the times we can get to the specific assignments, and sometimes we can't, and sometimes we're choosing the crafts that are on the page instead, and that's what works for us, and that's what helps us talk about Christ and bring prayer into our family, and that's really the focus, not necessarily that we're getting this specific sheet done.
With all of these pressures, something has to give eventually, and we're understanding of that. And I tend to believe that in general, the church is viewed as we're the kind ones, so we won't give you the hardest time about it. But these other pressures of the coaches and the schools and all those things, the work, it pushes on you. What would be your advice on how to kind of let yourself stay with the priority with not making it, I'm so far behind that I feel paralyzed with it? What would you say is a good way that you'd say, if you're going to let something slide, don't let this, but this is okay to let go of?
I think that in keeping our faith a priority, I think that sometimes we can get overwhelmed, especially like this. If you're behind in all these assignments and you're thinking, I haven't gotten to September, I haven't gotten to October, what about November? It's not really so much about going back and checking off all those boxes. Our faith isn't really supposed to be about checking off boxes. It's about knowing and loving Christ and living by his example. So I would start with small steps, making sure that you're saying grace as a family before meals. We've really started making sure that each night before we took our daughter in, we pray together. We say we read Bible stories sometimes, finding little ways to work it in and not making it feel like such a huge monumental task. It doesn't need to be that, because he's there always, and it doesn't have to be in some very huge formal way all the time that we're experiencing God. Just being together and coming to talk to God and talk about God with your family in little ways, and taking it in those smaller chunks, I think, is a little bit more manageable and a little bit more comforting. And it's really helped us kind of move through all of the craziness that we're experiencing.
Well, as a pastor, I think my three areas that I would say, just make sure if you don't do anything else, make sure you do these three. Make sure that you're praying every single day. And I want you to know that we as a staff, and I personally am praying for you every single day. I want you to go to Mass, even if it's online. I want you to go to a weekly Mass. This has to be a priority, because if we fall out of rhythm with this, eventually it kind of like out of sight, out of mind. It just starts to slide and affects the rest of our prayer life. And we start to feel like less and less connected to a community. And the last thing, teach your children the prayers. Mm-hmm. When they come out of the pandemic, they don't want to have an inability to pray with others because they've been isolated so much. When we come together, the act of praying the same words together helps them feel like they can come right back into a friendship, a family within the faith. And so I think those for me are three priorities. I would say, if you didn't do anything else, just those three. So I thank you so much, and I appreciate you being so honest about it and helping our moms. We love you very much, and I want nothing but the best for you. I'm not going to say don't worry about the homework. I'm going to say do what you can and let the Spirit guide you. I think we need those reminders to help. Oh yes, I want to set those priorities, but don't think that I judge you. Don't think that this means you're a bad person. It means we're going through some tough times. It's hard to balance the whole thing, and I understand that, and I get it. God bless you.
I just want to add one quick thing. When you were talking about the importance of Mass, it's so true. Even our family, we're a Mass every Sunday kind of. Every Sunday kind of family, and our faith is so important to us. And after COVID, it was hard to get back into the swing of Mass each week. And even though we with online Mass, it was challenging, and we kind of felt that distance and that separation. And getting back into the habit of being at Mass every week was really comforting. So I do encourage families to, if you can be here in person, great. But even if it's online for you, really try to make sure that that's a priority for your family every Sunday that you're or Saturday, if that's the time that you're going. At the time of Mass, make sure you're sitting down together and really gathering for that Mass, because it's hard to get back into that routine, and it is so important. I think that when we start to let Mass slip, that's the easiest time for us to start to slip away from Christ, and we don't really notice it until there's already that big divide.
Right, and there's a part in my heart that's missing you. I'm missing seeing the moms and dads. I'm missing seeing the kids and the teenagers. Those who do come, it brings such joy to my heart, but I am immediately drawn to who's not here. I do miss everyone. And I just hope and pray that they don't, because of a lack of practice and coming on a regular basis, that they slide into an apathy. I think that's a danger we have as we get to exhaustion, that we're just going to stop caring. And of course, that would be tragic to our whole lives. So, but again, I thank you so much, and I wish God to bless each and every one of you and your families.